Throughout this pandemic, we have witnessed a rise in conspiracy theories, especially of those related to COVID-19. Because of this, it is important to understand what they are, why people fall for them, and how they affect us, and what we can do to prevent their spreading. So, what are conspiracy theories? While a conspiracy refers to a real chain of events and agreements, conspiracy theories are defined as an attempt to explain social and political events and circumstances through secret plots by two or more powerful actors that may or may not be true. They are often believed as a way of making sense of an existential threat. The term conspiracy thinking suggests that there is an underlying tendency for some people to fall for conspiracy theories because of a bias against powerful groups and official accounts. This is explained by the fact that people who believe certain conspiracy theories are more likely to believe others as well. This leads us to the question of why people fall for conspiracy theories. Although scientists prove that coronavirus is not caused by 5G signals, it did not stop people from believing that coronavirus is created by some powerful villain to control the population. Psychologists suggest that during this time of crisis, people tend to believe more in the conspiracy theories due to fear and a lack of understanding of the current situation. Conspiracy theories are the best for people to believe in because they simply provide easy logic to follow and someone to blame. According to Roland Imhoff, a social psychologist at Germany's Johannes Gutenberg University, the coronavirus is the perfect feudal breeding ground for conspiracy theories because it's terrifying, not well understood, and happening at massive scale. Comparing the conspiracy theories during coronavirus pandemic to AIDS pandemic and Zika outbreak, they are shockingly similar. During these times, these theories sound more convincing than the actual truth. Another thing that needs to be taken into account is the conspiracy mentality. Some people are more prone to believe in conspiracy theories because of their personalities. Researchers found that this mindset correlates with particular personality traits, including low levels of trust and an increased need for closure, along with feelings of powerlessness, low self-esteem, paranoid thinking, and a need to feel unique. According to UCLA psychiatrist Joseph Pierre, conspiracy thinking can also be attributed to external forces, including racial and social inequity, that erodes our trust in authority figures. This is evident in the rumors about the infamous microchips implant on people through the vaccines, or the belief that nasopharynx tests implant chips into people's noses. A survey carried out by Sergel in March 2021 found that 42% of the respondents believe at least one COVID-19 conspiracy theories, and 16% of Americans were firm skeptics. It is important, though, to clarify the groups of pandemic or vaccine skeptics that exist in the United States, who are the white conservatives and the social minorities, such as the blacks and Latinos. White conservative skepticism mostly stems from political motivations, while social minority skepticism stems from generational trauma and historical subjugation under the white majority. The latter group's skepticism is evidenced with the Tuskegee syphilis study, involving the experimentation of syphilis with black subjects to determine its side effects. Conspiracy theories become exacerbated during times of crisis, particularly because of the rampant uncertainty and fear within people. Individuals desperately look for answers, and hence they are susceptible to intaking any information that might clear up their doubts. Conspiracy theories specifically thrive during crisis since democracy wanes off. People develop political distrust and seek to deliberate their governments in any way they can, such as visible with the vaccine skeptics in the US that believed in the microchips. People also feel left out of politics during crisis. Conspiracy theories are participatory, and that's what makes them extremely powerful and enticing. People feel like they are participating in the political sphere that they are restricted from. In this pandemic, a majority of skeptics in the United States believed the entire virus was a coax used to divert attention from the government's non-democratic goals. Loneliness is also a key factor in the exacerbation of conspiracy theories during the pandemic. People have felt alone in this process and have felt the urge to carry out independent research to answer their questions. People are insufficient with the correct information as it does not answer their questions, and consequently, they seek convenient and selective information to further their beliefs. The pandemic also meant voids of uncertainty were created as a result of all the crises occurring in the United States and all around the world. Was the virus natural or artificial? Is the virus deadly or not? Will getting vaccinated kill me? Therefore, skeptics sought to fill these voids of uncertainty through these theories and develop this sense of knowledgeability. Lastly, these theories proliferate due to our globalized society. Information can now be rapidly spread through social media and disguised to be credible through embellished websites or accounts or posts or convincing arguments. We have been in our homes for over a year and have inevitably spent most of the times on our phones, our primary source of information. A specific area where the widespreading conspiracy theories have affected the COVID-19 era would be the vaccine rollout. As we can see in this graph, the interest in COVID-19 on the internet never waned and even gradually increased in time. However, is all the information around COVID-19 real? In most circumstances, this is not true. In June 2020, a multidisciplinary team was formed to review and collect online rumors and conspiracy theories from December 2019 to November 2020. Studies include Google Fact Check, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, fact-checking agency websites, and television and newspaper websites. Of all the 637 COVID-19 vaccine-related information investigated, this is shocking that 83% of them were false, 10% of them were misleading, and 2% were exaggerated. The high portion of these fake conspiracy theories shows that this is a severe issue worldwide. According to the famous quote from WHO Director General Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus, we're not just battling the virus, we're also battling the trolls and conspiracy theorists that push misinformation and undermine the outbreak response. Indeed, conspiracy theories have widely affected the curing process of COVID-19, especially the vaccine rollout. For example, in the United States, 1 in 5 people believe that there is, or probably is, a microchip in the COVID-19 vaccines. A well-known conspiracy theory behind COVID-19 vaccination, which suggests that the entire pandemic has been a cover to create and inject trackable microchips. Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates has been cast as the supervillain behind the plot. Besides making up conspiracy theories, stories has also been made related to deaths tied to the vaccine. For instance, well-known vaccine hesitant activist Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has been fueling fears about the COVID-19 vaccines following reports of deaths after the vaccine rollout began in Europe. In December, multiple social media posts falsely claimed a nurse in Alabama died after receiving the shot. Indeed, conspiracy theories were widespread all over the world, as can be shown in this graph. The darker the region is, the greater the country was exposed to conspiracy theory. An interesting question would be, why did conspiracy theories emerge so drastically during COVID? There are 2 fundamental reasons. The first is anxiety. Conspiracy theory specialist says that most of the misinformation comes from anxiety and a search for answers to the uncertainty. During a pandemic, anxiety leads citizens to blindly believe in information spread across without actually evaluating their accuracies. The second is a trick used by the media. To create eye-catching information, the media will sometimes use figures to mold public opinion. According to the COVID-19 Vaccine Communication Handbook, if we vaccinate 10 million people and the vaccine has no side effects whatsoever, then over the following 2 months, we can nonetheless expect that 4,025 of those vaccinated will have a heart attack, 3,975 will have a stroke, 9,500 will have a new diagnosis of cancer, and 14,000 will, unfortunately, die. This means that even if vaccines were perfectly safe, there would always be a tiny percentage of people facing bad things. The media usually display the figure in such a way to scare the audience, which leads to the spread of conspiracy theories and fake information. A specific area where the widespreading conspiracy theories have affected. We have seen on social media platforms that censorship is the primary method used to combat vaccine or pandemic related conspiracy theories. While this may be effective, it's generally harmful. Censorship temporarily bans any conspiratory content which would proliferate. However, content like this will continually emerge in spite of these prohibitions. Censorship could also be weaponized. Skeptics could use these censorships to create even greater theories to deter governmental institutions who are seeking to end this conflict. Therefore, the best way to combat this is by strengthening educational campaigns on COVID-19 and vaccines and increasing the motivation of the population to get the vaccine. Education is the key in raising awareness over the pandemic and the efficiency of vaccines. This solution can take on various forms, such as creating advertisements on social media platforms or even banners on the streets which communicates the danger of the virus and how the vaccines can assist in preventing fatalities due to non-vaccination. This solid foundation will also allow people to tackle the misconceptions surrounding the pandemic and the vaccines without compromising one's freedom of speech. Moreover, by encouraging people to get vaccinated, more people will do so due to the conformity mindset. In fact, a study published in March 2021 by Boston College concluded that vaccines ads increased the likelihood by 116% of clicks and searches on vaccines and diseases. Though this definitely does not correlate with increased vaccination rollout, it does in fact indicate that more people are persuaded to get the vaccines through these ads. Another potential solution is to add greater vaccination mandates statewide. This could take form in restricting people from accessing certain parks or locations, or even returning to their office. This has been proven to be highly effective, as seen in France, where Emmanuel Macron, who announced vaccine mandates in order to attend restaurants, movie theaters, and other social facilities in France. A day after this mandate was established, 1.3 million vaccine appointments has been scheduled. However, this solution only tackles the problem superficially and does not address conspiracy theories from the root. In conclusion, while we can't convince skeptics to change their minds, our only hope lies in education to combat this rampant misinformation and conditioning people into getting vaccinated to end this long-standing, terrifying pandemic.